Good morning. It is Stitch Along Friday on a terribly rainy and dark morning in October, on the 24th, in fact, in 2025. I don't know why I put the date in there. I just thought, hey, why not? Welcome to all of you who have either are actually right now watching the replay because my guests have not yet arrived. Generally, my guests arrive about 20 seconds to 40 seconds afterwards. As soon as I start actually speaking, you can't really tell whether or not anybody's there, except that I can see how many viewers are there, and so far there is nada. Not one viewer. That doesn't mean that they aren't there. They're just coming on board right now. So while I'm doing that, while we're discussing that, at least I hope they are, while we're discussing that, I do want to talk a little bit about Halloween, because it's coming up. I think next week is going to be the 31st, next week Friday. It's going to be Friday the 31st. Is that a good or a bad omen? In those days, I kind of had the feeling that it should be a good omen because it's a Friday and everyone really likes to go out trick-or-treating on a Friday, right? And as far as I can see, Halloween's going to go off like it always does, in a very good way. Let's just see if there's anyone there. There we go. Okay, so I always get a little bit afraid when there's no viewers at all. That doesn't make any sense, and there's quite a few right now, so that's good. I had to refresh the screen. Don't you remember, Thea? Anyway, hello, Donna Granger. It's good to see you, obviously. I'm glad that you're the first to jump on board. I'm quite sure that Facebook may have changed the way it's giving you notifications that my stream has started. And I have such a short stream. It's only a half an hour, so I know it's not always that easy to catch that half hour in your busy days. Although for you, Donna, it's also 9:30, and so it's luckily it's not for you in the middle of the day, because some of the people that have come on board before have interrupted either their sleep when they're in Australia or New Zealand, or they're at the end of their long day in Scotland, or people are back east and they are, of course, having their lunch or whatever. So it's very interesting as far as the timing is concerned. I'm glad it's sunny for you there. I've got pouring rain, like really bucketing down, and it was terrible for the people that are taking care of the construction next door. Next door for the last 4 days, I've had hammering and stapling and people yelling and music and etc. outside my door, and I'm not used to it because it's an over 55 community where I live. And so suddenly to have all these young voices and yelling back and forth, it's kind of nice. There's nothing really bad about it, but it's been noisy. And now those poor guys are in the rain and they are not happy. Suddenly seems to be no jovial talking because we've had lovely sunshine up until today. Okay, Marty, good morning. Overcast and 48. Good morning, Lisa. I'm glad you're here. Tedra, good morning from Phoenix. Beautiful morning. High 80s. So it looks like the further down the west coast you go, the nicer it gets, right? Because no matter what, Phoenix, even though it might not be right on the beach, it's definitely still on the west end of the country. Oh, Donna, what a good idea, setting an alarm. I didn't know you could set an alarm on your iPad. I guess you could, yeah. It has a clock feature, right? Oh, that's a really good idea. So does it go ding, or does it make a pretty little melody? I'm glad that you did that. That's a really good idea. I might just have to mention, put an alarm on your phone, iPad, whatever, your alarm clock, for 9:30 so that you don't miss our little stream. It would be, I think it's a great idea. Sue, I'm only on for a bit before an appointment. Always nice to see your sweet face also in that picture, which I can still see from years ago when you were doing, I don't know what you were doing there, but you were having so much fun as usual, acting up. Anyway, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Let's see. Me too, Donna, says Marty. Oh, I didn't know that. I think that makes a lot of sense. You can't really rely on Facebook for anything. Joe, hello to you too. And Tammy as well from cool Pennsylvania. as far as the weather goes, I think it's been okay across the whole North American continent. And we'll have to wait for Ellen to come on board, and also for anybody who manages to get on board this morning, because I think that daylight savings has made it more difficult for people who are living in Australia or New Zealand, because they're basically asleep, which is definitely a good idea. Acting up, yes, acting up. I was going to say acting out, but that sounds way too psychological. I think you were having fun. Let's put it that way. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so I wanted to get started this morning briefly. I wanted to show you the Christmas drum pincushion, which, as you know, is available as a kit. I have to do this. This is my little what do you call it? Commercial break. And remember that it's on sale for sale rather, on our website right now as a kit. And that includes all these wonderful materials, all pristine and untouched, all the beautiful silks and beads. It is really quite a good kit. I'm really pleased with it, and I hope that you enjoy stitching it. There's the first batch, by the way, has been processed yesterday by Lisa. Yesterday and this whole last week, actually. It's been processed, and so it's just about on its way to Vancouver. Like I told you before, it has to go to Vancouver before it gets trucked across the border. So wish us well. This is our second trial, but I think it's going to go really well. That shipping company seems to work well. Hopefully they don't double charge us like they did for the first parcel, Lisa. Let's see, Marty, chat is at 12:30 here, right? Yes, and it's way too easy to get caught up in stuff and miss the time. You're absolutely right. An alarm makes sense, so thank you for putting that on. And I guess you can even set it to like weekly, so that every week you get the same alarm. Does that make sense? I guess so. B, good morning from Cudworth. And cool and cloudy here. Have a great weekend. Thank you, B. I don't know where Cudworth is. It sounds like a really nice name. Cudworth. Is that in England or in the United States? I'm sorry, I don't know. Jean Morrison, good morning from Atlanta. The fall weather's been nice. I'm so happy because I know that in Atlanta you've had some pretty hot days during the summer, so it must be nice to have some fall weather instead. Kathy Joan, hello to everyone. And what else I was going to mention was, after I said that, oh yes, and we also have the Bling Tree 3, but I'm not going to talk about that until the very end, because you all know about the Bling Tree 3. And by the way, we do have enough kits left over. Last week I was really worried because I thought that there was this huge stampede of orders flooding in, and I have a little ding on a reminder on notification on my phone. And it was dinging and dinging, and I thought, I better tell you guys that. But anyway, within about 3 days, it kind of petered off to a normal amount of dings, which means that people are still ordering, and they definitely are ordering again this weekend. And it seems like weekends are the big ordering time. So I just want you to know we certainly do have enough kits left for anyone who is going to take a little bit longer to order. And I wanted to talk to, I'm not even going to mention your name, but I just wanted to let people know. Because someone said that they couldn't quite do it right now, but they would do it later. And I said, don't wait. And now I realize that it's fine. You can wait maybe another week or two. Yeah, because we did make enough. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about on our group. First of all, our group, Corinne, did a beautiful blossom on Ada, which I think is really something important, because people who come here always think they have to work on linen. And I've tried very hard over the last couple of years to make sure that the free patterns are also more or less able to be stitched on Ada as well as linen, just to make sure that people feel included. And it's not because I don't love linen. As you know, I only stitch on linen, but for those of you who love Ada because it's easier to see, or for whatever reason, the little free patterns here that you can find here called the blossom patterns are all available for stitching on anything. Marsha Buckingham, hello, good to see you. Cool, Dallas. Whoa, I didn't know it got that cool. And Gabor's story. Gabor has been doing the small little samplers, the garden samplers I call them. They're Victorian garden samplers. They're little, but they're packed with all sorts of specialty stitches, so you have to do them on linen. Anyway, I believe he's got the whole collection. He's stitched the whole collection and finished them as what he calls bookmarks. And I thought, they're not bookmarks. They're things to display. Well, apparently, he has a 2,000 bookmark collection, which I had no idea. I just read it this morning. I couldn't believe it. So these are part of his bookmark collection because they're small enough, for sure, to be fit inside of a large hardcover book. Anyway, so he doesn't use those bookmarks, I don't believe. I think he's got some bookmarks he uses, but these he calls bookmarks in English. Maybe it's a literal translation. What he has done with them. And he says, the other thing I love to do is creativity. So he says he didn't have any plan in mind. He just started playing with fabrics and putting them together. And it turned out to be this book where he's got enclosures, Velcro enclosures to put his bookmarks in, which are this Victoria Sampler gardens and all of it together. He says, I just loved doing it. And I think that's a really good lesson. The reason I think it's a good lesson is because some of us are so wanting to follow the rules and make it look the way it should and that kind of thing. All he's doing is enjoying the experience of creativity. That's also what I do when I'm designing, although I have you in mind when I'm designing now. But when I'm designing, very often I'll slip into my own thing where all I want to do is create. There's so many possibilities, and let's try this, try that. That's the joy. And once it's off my plate and into Lisa's very capable hands to put all the directions and the materials and everything together, she does such a good job, I can let go of that piece. And very frequently I'll have the feeling that I am disappointed in some way because it's over. That experience is over. And I think the creativity is what we can all experience, even if you're stitching someone else's designs, as evidenced by Marty's sugar plum, which she created out of the pattern that I had made and that Lisa had laid out and published. I just want to tell you, Marty, because a few people have actually written into me, and people I don't know, and asked whether or not there is a materials list for this. So I said, well, join the group and ask Marty, and she will be happy to give you any information that she has. And so I hope you don't mind. I didn't know what kind of threads that you were using. So I thought, if they join the group, that'll be great. They can ask you, and then you can always make up your own mind as to how much you want to tell them about what you used. But in any case, that was your creativity. You were in a space where you decided, I'm not going to use those threads that I was suggesting. I'm going to use the threads I have right here, the ones that I like, and they are red and green or whatever you used in that. And the one that was shown was the one on the top of the Facebook group, and it is, of course, I've taken a screenshot of that and put it at the bottom of my newsletter, which is how she found it. She thought, well, it doesn't look like that in the pattern, so how do I know how to make this? So what I'm saying is creativity, when you allow yourself to change things, to make it yours, to start with a pattern if you want, or start with a pattern and then change the pattern if you want. There's so many different ways that you can go on this extremely fun journey of creativity. Okay, lecture over. Then I wanted to also mention that no, that's it. I was looking at all of on my computer over there. I was looking at all of my wonderful people here in the group, and I just wanted to see what was going on. And those were the things that caught my eye, and I wrote down. Carla, you got on early. You took in all your banana plants for the winter. Oh, that sounds like such much fun. In Missouri, you have banana plants. If I had banana plants, I'd take them in for the winter also. I have no idea. You know what I did take in for the winter, though, were geraniums. Apparently, you can uproot the entire geranium if you're in the northern hemisphere, I guess north of the northern hemisphere, and they don't last through the winter, right? So you can uproot them all, shake off some of the loose dirt, and just put them with the flowers and the leaves and everything still going. You put the whole plant in a leaf bag, in a paper leaf bag. They're pretty big, right? You just plunk them in. So I plunked them all in it looked weird. Like I thought they're not going to survive. But anyway, on a YouTube channel, I found out that in the spring, all the leaves will be withered, etc. But those very plants you can put back in the earth, and then they will come back, it said. So, okay, I'm trying this out. So I put my geraniums away for the winter. Marty says, actually, those threads are not available to me, and the akpaks are not available anymore, so one has to use what one can. Do you know, that is a good reason, too, to become creative, is if you can't do it one way, do it another way. Exactly. Those are just, all they are conditions of your creativity, and you decided you were going to do it anyway, which I just love. Carla says, I have geraniums, too, and I do take them in and treat them like a houseplant. Yeah, I've tried that, but I'm really bad with plants indoors. So, Carla, congratulations for treating them like a houseplant. If I had that, I would have had 20 houseplants, and then I don't have enough room. I don't have the window space, all that stuff. So, but Carla, good for you that you've decided that they were good enough to have indoors. I also am not that fond of the way they smell. I like them outdoors. But in any case, apparently you can put them in a sack, in a paper sack, and then you close the sack so that it's very dark and closed, and then you put it in your garage or your basement or somewhere cool, and that's it. I just couldn't believe it. So for all of you who have geraniums, you might still want to do that. I have a question. I was thinking about doing another design for Halloween for next year, not for this year, and I was thinking, okay, so what kind of design do you like? Like, I've seen some really cute designs. I've seen some elegant designs. I've seen some more spooky designs. What kind of Halloween designs are interesting to you and would make you want to stitch them? So obviously I'm having a consumer group right now. And I was curious to know, what is it that you like to stitch about Halloween? Like, I've seen, I've seen some very rustic looking, folk art like looking, American looking, so in other words, colonial style. Not that they are made in those days, but they're made now, and they are more in that style. So I have a feeling that Halloween has a thing for itself, right? All by itself, because it has those colors in it, and it has, when I say those colors, I mean like orange and purple and black and green, lime green in particular. So it has all those colors, I get that. But you can make a kitschy looking thing, you can make something that is really realistic, with a lot of cross stitch that's all shaded and back stitched and stuff. Like something that is more, you can't call it Halloween elegant, but more like, I guess like my Stitchin' Witches, which is, I guess, in a way elegant. So I was just curious to know, what kind of Halloween stitching do you guys like? And do you like the neon threads by, I think it's the glow in the dark threads. I think that DMC puts those out. So those are my questions. And if anybody has any opinions, let me know, because I'm really interested. Let's see. Sue says, after misplacing my stitching for almost a year, you misplaced your stitching? Okay, that's a really interesting one. I didn't know that you could do that. I am now back to work on the trick-or-treat cushion. Okay, good. On the trick-or-treat cushion. Excellent. So you have your stitching back. I'm sorry that you misplaced it. I think when you're packing and stuff, because you had quite the trip to make, and then you sent some stuff off to where you're now living. So it must have gotten mixed up in those boxes. And I know, because I've moved several times, and it's not like I've misplaced it, but I know that I haven't unpacked all the boxes yet, or all the drawers. So hopefully that's what happened to you. And also, it's really good that you found them. I mean, that's great. And also makes me feel good that you're stitching again, Sue. Deborah, sometimes I change a hair color to personalize a stitch. I did Dreaming Girl and changed quite a bit to make her representative of the things I like. Be bold. Terrific advice. Terrific, because we really are a little bit afraid sometimes of changing things and making it more complicated for ourselves. Sometimes, you try to change something and it doesn't turn out quite the way you thought it would, which, by the way, happens to me all the time. But if it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would, that's okay. It's still the journey that matters, not the end result, because we can't always, make the end result the way we want, right? It's like anything in life. And the more you do, the more small things you do, Deborah, I think you agree with that. The small things that you do means you don't have it so much invested in that small thing. So if you make a mistake or if it doesn't look as good as you like, great. You don't have to worry about it. So try doing your experimentation in smaller items at first, and then you start thinking, hey, that looks just as good as this. This looks just as good as somebody else's. Keep that in mind, because really, our subjective opinion doesn't count. Okay? The only thing about our subjective opinion is maybe whether we want to change something or do something of our own. Do ask other stitchers and ask others, and make sure that you understand that of course they're going to say nice things to you, but you'll tell the undertone of how people say things. And honestly, I think that you can pretty much guarantee that most people will love what you've done. Whether they do or not makes no difference, because it's the journey, not the end result. Kathy Jones says, I would do up a sampler for Halloween if there was space to put a memory of a person. Oh, I never thought of that. My mom and my granddad both passed on Halloween. My mom loved seeing the kids dressed up and giving out candy. Oh, that is a really nice memory, and I can really understand. So leaving space in any kind of Halloween oriented pattern would make a huge difference to you, because that space can be taken up. Instead of saying happy Halloween, you could be saying I remember my mom and my granddad. And I think that's a lovely idea. If you can find a pattern that you really like that isn't too celebratory, maybe you can take out their name, the lettering that they have in that pattern, and just replace it with something nice, an ode to your relations. Anyway, Kathy Joan, that's a great idea. Can you show us Bling Tree 3 again? I can indeed. I will, just a second. And Joe says, I love using glow-in-the-dark fibers. I did not know that. This is a revelation to me, because I looked at them and I thought, oh, those would be really interesting in a Halloween pattern. I don't know if I'd put it in anything else. Thank you, Joe. Very nice. Mary says, difficult time in our world. My stitching keeps me going. Absolutely. Very much so. Difficult time in our world. Better. Very well said. Margaret says, hello, everyone. I thought I was too late and was settling in to watch you on repeat. Just realized we're still live. Yay! I'm glad, Margaret, because, hey, I can say hello to you now, and I know you're there. I'm very happy that you put in that comment. That's quite cute. Mary says, just watch the original, just finished the original Bling Tree. We'll post soon. Yay! I'm really glad to hear that also, because the original Bling Tree was a class that we did with Sue, right, Sue? And it was done on rather dark fabric, and I've seen it later on slightly lighter fabric. Personally, I like the lighter fabric better than the one I used. But hey, everybody has his own thing. So now I'm going to accede to the request. This is the new Bling Tree. And of course, everyone that has already ordered the kit, it is on its way. This is another slight commercial commercial break. It is already ready to go, I should say. It's not quite on its way yet. But those of you who have, everyone who has, up until I think yesterday morning, who have ordered are now packaged up in Lisa's very capable hands. And I believe she has Bob there to help tape them shut, because her right hand is out of its cast, thank goodness, and she's getting the feeling back in her hand, but right now she can only do this with it, and I think this, which she can't hold a needle yet or anything. So things are slowly getting better for Lisa, but she's doing everything pretty much with her left hand, which she is right-handed. So I know that it might take a little bit longer to get it going, but we both still believe that the 3-week outside, for most people in the world, you will get yours within the 3-week period. I like the little designs that can be, oh, wait a minute, I missed out one. Mary, I can hardly wait to see your number 1. Marcia, also, can you show how Lisa finished the back of the mounting? Okay, I think I can show you that this is the back. Now she has used one that has, you can just see them. The little stars kind of shine up. It's a easier to see in real life. And so what she's done, I think the finishing is inside the leaflet, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I believe what she's done is she has finished the back of both. So you can see the front part here. This is where you see the pattern, and this is a completely covered piece of 2-ply mat board. That's that. And then on top of that, she has put another piece which has the piece on it. So basically she's made the stand. Well, there we go. The stand has a little ribbon down here, and this piece are connected with here and also up here with a hinge. And this is where the secret is. That little hinge is the important part. So all the white part was done first, or not quite, but anyway, it could be done first. And then you put this thing on some batting, I think it's quilt batting underneath here, and also on definitely a separate piece of 2-ply or 4-ply mat board, and then glued it down and put a cording around it. I hope that's the way it is, Lisa, because if you say, yeah, that's pretty much the way it is, that'll help me, because I've seen you make these things, but unfortunately, I don't have the finishing instructions right in front of me. So I think it's approximately correct. And don't forget, everyone, the finishing instructions are in the back of your leaflet, so it should be easy to be done. Let's see. I hope that helps you, Marcia. Good. Leslie, I like little designs that can be made into little cushions, or 3D designs like the Christmas mice to pop out into bowls for the season. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea for Halloween. And maybe the glow-in-the-dark thread. So maybe a few smaller designs on the same brochure that utilize DMC or threads that are easier for everyone to find. So maybe a few smaller designs on the same brochure that utilize, okay. Basically, you're looking for DMC threads, including the glow-in-the-dark, and you're looking for small designs or 3-dimensional small designs that can be used to pop into bowls. I think I got that right, Leslie? And if that's what you meant, thank you. I really appreciate it. I know that it's hard to write everything in a hurry here, so believe me, I kind of get the idea, and if I've made a mistake, just email me at thea@victoriasampler.com. Joe says, will Blinktree 3 be available as a PDF? Unfortunately, it's not going to be available until sometime next year, and we're not quite sure when. We do want to sell our kits and our leaflets first, and I hope you understand that. The mail person isn't all that accurate. Oh, I'm sorry. And my neighbors can be so busy, I might not get my misdirected mail for a month. I apologize. Can it be sent maybe to someone that you do know that has regular mail? I don't know quite what else to say, Joe, but it will be available eventually. So you may have to wait till next year. Kathy, I thought Lisa's hand had to be rebroken. We might, like Lisa had mentioned to me what happened, and apparently the surgeon said that of her 2 bones that are in her wrist, one of them has turned into being shorter than the other. So he said that the healing was fine, apparently. The healing was great, but it might be necessary to, as you say, re-break it later. But he says he wants her to do PT first because she needs to get the recovery of her hand first. And then she'll see whether she can turn. I think it's this part that's going to be a little more difficult rather than grabbing stuff, which she really needs to be able to do. There you go. The latest medical news on Lisa's hand. And I really feel for Lisa because she's had to depend on Bob for so many things. And he has done his utmost, but to start to be able to go to physical therapy, which I think is happening today. I think that she's going to be very happy to get the use of her hand, if not the extremely good use of her hand. Joe, let's see. Nope, we got you already. My granddaughter is here today. She says, oh, wow, to Blinktree 3. Absolutely. You mean Blinktree 2, right? Because blue is her favorite. So you showed her Blinktree 2, I think, if I got that right. That is Blinktree 2 with all the lovely, lovely, lovely sparkly things. And Blinktree 3 is the gold and white one which is shown dark here now, but hey. And we have Bling Tree 3 kits available. Okay. Say hi to your granddaughter, please, whatever her name is. And I really wish that she had said what her name was so I could say hello to her. Sue, I've chosen your Halloween designs because they reminded me of my childhood. Me too. Going trick-or-treating. I think with me it's always about the subject matter. When a design captures my memories, I can't resist it. You're such a good, encouraging person for a designer. Thank you so much, Sue. Not only are you saying that my designs recapture your memories, but that's the kind of design that you absolutely love. And frankly, that is pretty much the feeling behind, for instance, all the gingerbread buildings. That's memories not just of me, but of my children's memories. And I remember when I started the gingerbread trees, the gingerbread village, I was astounded at the response. And I think it's because we have those childhood memories of those actual things, and we can now recreate them in thread. So this one I have kept behind because I wanted to show it off just before Halloween and say, don't forget the haunted house. Now I know you can't get all the buttons anymore. Absolutely, understood. You may not want to do it in gingerbread color. You may want to do it in a gray, which looks like a real haunted house. In my opinion, gray would be great. And I think it was you, Donna, that did your haunted house in gray, if I'm not mistaken. A dark or a medium gray would be really good. Anyway, and then there's the ghosts. I think you can still find the ghosts, maybe not the trick-or-treaters. But remember, and this one I think might be really hard to find. Oops, sorry, this one. However, you can put other buttons, other things on. There's so many things in the store right now. I look at, see, there's another ding. I look at Michael's, I go in there, and there's just a plethora of stuff that has to do with Halloween. You can put flowers, or sort of Halloween flowers, or some, what do you call them, even stickers. You can put stickers on your stitched piece and stitch them down. So don't forget, you don't have to use these particular buttons that I used. You can use all sorts of other charms, etc. Thank you, Sue. I really appreciate your comment on both sides, because it really does remind me. That is what I love to do too. Lisa, not quite yet. The cast is off right now and I need to get my fingers and hand moving again. Go to see the surgeon. And I know she's going to go and see the surgeon very soon. Yes, in a month. Marcia, thank you. I have finished items like that before. Awesome. Good, good, good. I'm glad that you know what the flat fold is. Joe says, I'm thinking I may have to invest in a post office box soon. It's an idea. I mean, if you can't count on your post to come in and your parcels to come in, and it could be that you're having porch pirates, which I hear are sometimes very much in a place. So I'm not sure whether that's actually the problem also. Leslie, yes, especially at 3 a.m. in the morning. Exactly. Okay, so I hope you heal better, says Kathy. Yes. And let's see what else. Wow, that piece is fabulous. Thank you, Margaret. That piece is fabulous. And really, when I look at it now, I think, how did I come up with this idea? Because it was all my idea. I had all these buttons, and I thought, I just really, really want to have a house that looks like a haunted house. And as you may not be able to tell, but it isn't completely square. It goes out a little bit. So from here to here is wider than from the bottom here to here. So that means that it looks a little bit like you're looking up at it. That was the perspective I wanted. And I couldn't do very much of that because that would drive Lisa crazy when she was trying to help me finish it. Or rather, when she was finishing it while I was giving her my ideas of what would be good. The mansard roof was also quite a trial. And I had to figure out how to dye linen to this sort of purple color. It worked out pretty well, though. I think that the linen color with the RIT dye worked out really well. Thanks again, Margaret. Much appreciated. June, hello, you're here again. No sooner do you come into our group than somehow you seem to get kicked off or something happens. Anyway, I know that I allowed you in again just recently, so I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad also that you showed up and that you said hello. My heart goes out to you for all the things you're going through. I've been reading the newsletter, and as you know, it's not exactly a fun time for you, but you know that I really do remember our connection and how good that was, especially when we were walking around in Australia, in Perth. That was such a good time for both you and I, and I've not forgotten it ever. So June, you know I'm thinking of you. Let's see. Those buttons are so hard and impossible to find now that Joann's is closed. Yeah, I think that Michael's has them, and then there are other fabric stores that might carry them, but just go online and look for, oh, Lisa, help me. There's a certain button company that sells them, and you can still buy them. I just don't know. I think you'd have to, maybe you can just order from them retail. I think that's what's possible now. It's not, is it Dress It Up? I think it's called Dress It Up. Jesse James is the name of the company. That's Jesse and then James. So look that up.com or Google Dress It Up buttons. Either way, go and look and see what they have for Halloween buttons, because they do have them still. I've seen them not too long ago. Great haunted house. Thanks, Mary. That was great. And thanks also for answering some of my questions about, what kind of Halloween stitching you enjoy either doing or looking at. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to do your angel card because it's getting late. Thanks, Lisa. I did say them. Thank goodness my memory isn't completely gone. This is for you, all those creative people out there. Listen to your dreams. Don't just ignore them. Listen to your dreams, which in my opinion, this basically means that you really must do whatever you think you'd like to do in order to make yourself feel good. And that's all your creativity come to light. So thank you for joining in, Sue, and for staying as long as you did. Appreciate it so much. And all of everyone else here as well. I do have to go because it is literally 7 minutes after 10, which is unusual for me to go on that long. Probably have a little bit of verbal going on. Don't forget, we got the bling tree here, and we've got the Christmas drum pin cushion, and both of them are in kits as well as patterns, printed patterns only. And these two are still for sale, and they are going fast, I must say. Lisa is working hard to get them to you, so wish her well. Thanks very much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you next Friday for, Friday is Halloween. It's the 31st next week. We'll see you then, and you'll get a new free pattern by then, too. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.